Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Rogio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to It's Speed Scene Live, Tuesday night under the lights high atop the Speed Scene Live studios in beautiful North Hollywood, California. And Lucky and Dynamite are out on assignment this week, so they're not in the studio, so we snuck in Alex Rogio.
Whoa!
We snuck right in.
You snuck right in, yeah. And alongside, to make sure everything goes right, it's Brett Wagner, the Schwag.
I couldn't sneak in, but I kind of lumbered in.
Yeah, well, you know, we left the door unlocked. You came right in. Hey, we've got a great show for you tonight. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about, from drag racing to more drag racing to more drag racing to racing. And, you know, one thing I want to do, I just got to get this out of the way.
Okay.
I got lucky. No, I didn't get lucky. No, Diana's got lucky. I wrote a story again for Deluxe. It was Car Culture Deluxe.
Hey.
Good magazine. Good
It's
magazine.
on drag racing.
What?
Big
Believe it
surprise
or
there.
else.
Oh,
It's
check
a
it out.
57 Chevy. It's a Pioneer High School 57 Chevy. The instructor of the class had it as a class project back in the days when he taught auto shop, and he'd been retired for a while. He came across the car again and fully restored it to better than new, and we were able to do a story on it. Anna Marco, we've had her on Speed Scene before.
Anna's a
Anna
wonderful lady.
Octane, she did the photographs, and we had Erica Falcon as the model. And it just hits the stands today, so I had to pick up a couple of copies.
Now, I'm trying to remember, Bob, this was maybe 2 years ago on the Great American Auto Scene.
Yes.
Was that the same car? There was a shop team. Maybe it was a 56 Chevy.
No, it was the same car.
The same car?
We scooped Anna. We had John Cisnero here on Speed Scene, and we talked about the car and the history of it and how he bought it, and he had to wait a week to get it because the dog that was making a home out of the trunk was having puppies.
Oh, hey, you got to be careful. Don't say you scooped Anna. She's got a good left hook.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. She's got a neat pedal car, too.
What? Wait a minute. I'm totally lost. Which is
too, but
right
that's
how I was
normal.
before the show started, so it's all just kind of, appropriate. Hey, thanks to Urban Hillbilly Action Videos for this footage of where we at here, Alex Cargirl Rogio.
I believe this is Gateway Park at St. Louis.
Now,
He's
you
got
were
more plumbing on the engine than I have in my house.
What was that bash at the yard? What was it called? What's it called? It's something at the yard, that race.
Oh, you mean Anarchy Under the Arch?
That's what I meant to say. Yes, thank you.
Sort of similar, but
Well, you know, I was thinking of
Yes,
Sons of Anarchy for
was-
some reason.
nice.
It was Streetcar Supernationals, which is a version of the PSCA series. I was lucky enough to travel there a couple weeks ago and race. And I believe this is the Outlaw Pro Mod class.
Oh, almost lost to that Cadillac. And yes, I said Cadillac. It's cool to see that body on it.
It was really, really weird seeing that. They were pitted a few doors down from us, shall I say, and I could
Door
see the
slammers.
front clip sitting on the ground all the time, and I'm like, is that really a Cadillac over there? Like, I'd never seen that before.
Now there was some big racing going on. Some records broke that weekend. Frankie Madman Taylor and Stupid Fast Racing. I'm saying Go Fast. Stupid Fast Racing in the car, and then I'm not sure what the prince's name was, but there was
Turkey. I don't know his last name.
Prince Turkey?
but there
Turkey
was
without an E.
5 different changes, I believe, and records broke that weekend.
Yeah, it was
so
just like,
pretty amazing.
another record, another record, another record, just nonstop. And the track was prepped absolutely perfectly. They had one lane for slick tire cars and one lane for radials, and you got to choose which lane you wanted to run. You weren't limited to what. If you had slicks, you didn't have to run in the slick lane, but it was a really, really awesome track.
Are you on slicks or are you running street radios?
I'm running ET Mickey Thompson slicks right now.
Well, how did you do that weekend?
We did well in qualifying. The car was very, very consistent. I was cutting pretty good reaction times. I was qualified number 1 right up until the last qualifier when somebody went and cut a perfect light. But luck kind of didn't go our way on race day. We had some tough rounds of racing. We were racing one of the track champions who, that's his local track. But, I had a great time aside from the incredible heat. It was the hottest weather I've ever experienced. Hotter than 114 in Vegas. It was quite warm.
But in Vegas, it's a dry heat.
Right. It was like 80% humidity, 98 degrees. It was just
I used to be 350 pounds, Alex, and then I used to travel to the Midwest so much. Now I'm down to 280.
Right.
Just because of that humidity.
How about it?
Sweat it all out, I know.
Hey, you mentioned, by the way, Big Schwag,
Yes.
stupid fast. I've got to cover like 2 topics at once here. Dig this shirt, stupid fast racing.
Thank you, buddy.
I like that. And you also mentioned Sons of Anarchy. And, a lot of people know that, of course, you've done a lot of movie and television work.
Sure.
Have you ever been on that show?
Yeah, first season, 3rd episode.
I asked without knowing the answer, and you were on it.
Yeah, and tonight is they start the final season tonight. Wow. So as I'm not home watching it because and I could have, but I said, you know what, I'm going to give one up for the team and come in and hang out with you all.
Man.
You're recording it.
Yes.
It's on your DVR.
It might be on my DVR. yes. But good stuff.
Hey, by the way, coming up later tonight, Speed Scene Live, Megan Pellissier, a hot new racer based just north of us a little ways. And also, what do we got, Bob, coming up at about on the 30? I know everybody's watching all over the world, so if I say 6:30, it won't make any sense.
We're going to stay with racing, but we're going to go to tabletop, and we're going to show you some of the most expensive slot car tracks in the world, and we're going to talk to the man who builds and designs them. And I'll tell you what, they're just flat amazing. The level of detail you're going to see, you may have seen this on some big train set type thing.
Yeah,
he's taken it into a new art form with slot cars.
Wow.
Cool.
That is going to be cool.
Neat.
Yeah, so it's going to beat my little Aurora set that I had when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, just a bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, to give you an idea, your Aurora set, completely set up with backup cars, will probably get you 1 foot of track on one of the ones he built.
1 foot of the track.
However, if you did have that set of Aurora still,
Yes.
we could get a good price on eBay with
We
it.
could.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. You're probably right. Now, this, of course, is the real thing. It's more footage from St. Louis.
Oh,
Pop
Yeah.
the laundry.
Now, we're seeing nighttime footage here, but it was daytime racing as well, right, Alex?
Yeah, it started like late in the afternoon and went into the evening. The final race was Saturday night. We didn't finish winner's circle photos until like 1:45.
well, that had to be a
morning.
record right there, 5:47 with a 2.
I believe it was.
And I could hear Rockin' Rob losing his voice in the background.
He was so excited every single pass for promo.
Well, here we go.
Very
In
fun.
fact, I think this is the 2 guys going at it right here. This might be for the championship, or at least that
This was
night.
The final.
The finals, yeah. What is it? I don't even know what a car like that costs. How do you go? I mean, to go 275 miles an hour, 272. Alex, how much is that costing?
A house.
Couple $100,000.
And that's just
Pass.
the motor.
I have no idea. But these cars run in the quarter, not just the 1,000 foot.
No.
Most people think it's just, well, not most people, but a lot of people ask if it's 1,000 foot, and that's quarter mile racing. But look at that
546 and a
final.
547. Look at that. 272 and 263. Basically, those things are funny cars with doors that open.
Look at
Yeah.
the crew. They're like, what? How could it be that close?
Yeah, that's a tight one, especially in that class. Where,
No kidding.
You
You
know,
don't-
it's so volatile. You hardly ever see a close race.
But
that
look at the camaraderie right there,
Yeah.
shaking hands, and you got one of the closest races in that division, ever. You got guys breaking records. You got guys hugging each other. When I race Alex next year, I think I will shake her hand after I beat her as well.
There you go.
No!
If it happens.
Next year? What
You-
about this year?
My car won't be ready this year.
You know what we're probably going to have to do?
Okay.
We're probably going to have a speed scene day at Fontucky.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, Donnie's got to defend his championship.
Oh, that's
God.
true.
Don't bring that up anymore.
Oh man,
Donnie Couch.
I still haven't been able to
Yes.
face him since that day.
I
He
cannot.
hasn't shown up any
imagine what
nights
they've
that you
done.
worked.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Bruce has got a Mustang outside that's ready to race.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just take those 40-year-old tires off. Put some
Yeah.
Mickey Thompson.
Now, see, you had to spoil it.
Sorry.
I love those 40-year-old tires. I
That car is
love 'em.
original.
Original tires.
Isn't that your one of your first cars?
That is my first car.
That is your first
I
car.
bought it when I was 15.
Let's talk about it real quick so people understand we're not just making a joke.
We need
Okay.
a picture of it to
Yeah,
prove it.
it's. I know you almost do. It's a 1967 Mustang, originally a hardtop, but it was the typical high school thing where I just cut it all up. Now, like, before you get annoyed, this car was headed towards rust heaven, and man, it was. I bought it from my math teacher, and it was just a sedate little 6-cylinder, and we put a 351 Cleveland in it, and big fat tires and flares all around, and
The big mufflers on the side.
yeah,
a
thrush
typical
side
70s car.
pipes.
Yes.
A typical 70s car, and and loads of gadgetry inside, including, of course, you must have an 8-track player.
And twin sunroofs.
That's right, twin sunroofs, yes. So anyway, I've hung onto the car all these years, and I still drive it around a little bit. But man, after all those years, everything is just, the sun has baked everything out of it. But
It's cool. Like I told you, I do a lot of horror movies, movies, and that car is perfect for like the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the next Friday the 13th, something.
Yeah, see, we're gonna have to work on it because
American
it is
Graffiti 4.
Yeah.
Why not? But I mean, not a lot of people know. But Bruce, you have quite a good car collection. Or I don't know if you've talked about it, but you got quite a few cars and some historical stuff.
Yeah.
Was that historical or hysterical?
It's both in that
yeah,
case.
both.
Yeah, but that car's that whole collection's been downsized a lot. But we showed Glendale Cruise Night a few weeks
Yes.
ago. On this show, we showed
You
the
had
Lincoln
your
that's in
freshly
progress.
restored Lincoln.
That's right. So yeah, it's moving right along, man. I just need places to store them. Anybody got any ideas? I pay cheap.
You pay cheap. Oh, yeah.
The CHP might have a few places.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Impound,
it's
yeah.
once in a while I park in the neighborhood. We'll finish the car story here in a second. Right here near the studio, there's a couple of residential streets, and if I forget, now this has happened twice. If I forget and leave this thing here over 48, 72 hours, whatever the law is, there are people in the neighborhood who will say, "Hey, get over here, tow this car. It's been here too long." And I've had my
it's
cars towed
abandoned.
twice. Yeah, because they're abandoned.
Yeah.
Even though I work right around the corner, so I don't know, man.
Crazy
That's-
city.
Yeah. But anyway, what crazy people in the city.
We digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
And during that whole story, we were showing Brett Wagner.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. Oh man! You know what? I wanted to show for the Frankie Taylor pass one time. I know this was taken from the stands, but check this out because this is one of the passes we were talking about in terms of speed. God, that's thunderous.
That's me cheering, by the way.
That's your share. How fast did you run on that pass?
Oh, I don't know. I can't
Oh,
remember.
close enough. 5-something, huh?
That was a while ago.
I think there was a
Since then.
275 pass in there, and
Yeah,
that might have been
something
one
like
of them.
that. Yeah,
But
that's
Richard's holding up fingers, but I can't see. Something.
Unbelievable.
Give me a little hint.
Cue card.
555.
Okay.
But that's not mile an hour. Come on.
550.
500 miles an hour in the quarter.
Boy, that Frankie is fast.
really breaking
we're
records.
talking about speed. I got a note from Danny Thomas.
Yep.
Or Thompson, Mickey Thompson's son. He totally went through Mickey's Challenger car, took it up to Bonneville, ran 419, was trying to back up the run and set the record when the clutch decided it didn't want to go any further.
Ah.
So they're going to be working on the car, and they're coming back for Cook's event next week, and he's going to try and reset the record. He's got his dad's old car. They've totally redone it, updated it. He ran a 419. I think it's early today or yesterday, but the clutch went out on the backup run. And you've got to run 2 runs to
Right.
set a record at Bonneville.
Well, geez, man, what are you gonna do? Since we're here in St. Louis for just a brief shining moment, here's Alex.
Oh!
There's the
Look
car.
at that!
You're running out of paint space to put stickers.
I know. Can't
You
complain,
know what I say. A lot of
No,
stickers
you
on a car make it fast.
Yeah.
Right.
especially if it's got where's the speed scene sticker?
It's there.
It's there.
on the
On the window?
The fender next
The
to
fender?
the
Oh, I
Arrington.
see it right behind the. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Behind the wheel, yeah.
All right. Got to just make sure.
Here we go.
I mean, even I've got a speed scene.
Ooh!
Good launch.
Yeah.
Good,
And the
great
other guy,
launch.
Red Lip.
4,400 pounds, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
You don't look at it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh, we're getting off color here.
Yeah.
All right,
Off, off topic. Alex, I know you've got a piece coming up. This will be later in the show, but it's this sliding cargo bed thing that we're going to talk about. I think.
Yeah, it's called Cargo Glide, and they're an awesome company out of St. George, Utah, and we just recently got this put into our brand new tow vehicle, which is a 3500 Ram Cummins diesel, dually. How many words can describe the truck?
Awesomeness.
Well, it's like
Blue, Mopar Blue.
Okay.
So yes, there'll be a nice little video showing how the whole unit works and all of that coming up.
Cool. We'll take a look at that. I know you also stopped by, I think, Arrington Performance. Did you do some stuff there?
Yes, we went on another big long road trip. We did 15 states in 22 days.
Wow.
We went to Virginia, and then we went to St. Louis to race.
Isn't that cute?
And we got a couple of upgrades, one of which is that air oil separator, which is the black thing closest to the camera. This is a big deal, actually, for late model Hemis, because this is a huge problem with these motors. There's always tons of oil blow by. So this new separator is removable. The bottom is removable. You turn it 30 degrees and it comes off, and you dump it and you put it back on.
Oh, so it's just catching blow by.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And it's funny. I've been troubleshooting a motor. It's an old Ford engine, but it's recently rebuilt and it's got blow by, and I could use this.
I don't know if they make one for that application, but I could find out for you.
It's just two hoses. You can do it, Bruce.
Yeah, well,
Drill a couple extra holes, no problem.
Plus, I love the green serpentine belt up there.
Yeah, I
Isn't that
know.
cool?
It's that's the color of the really, really strong belt that they have, because for a while we were chewing up belts, so we just had to
Really?
find the strongest one. Yeah.
And you've got the Magnuson supercharger on there.
Right. Yep. We are running some pretty impressive power numbers, which is going to be on the next video. Well, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
This is not my motor, but this is a motor that we saw running on the engine dyno there. It's a special. It's going into a special car, shall I say? And you'll see the kind of power numbers that this thing made, and they have. I can't remember how many engine dynos. They have like, I think 5 engine dynos at Arrington.
Dang.
1 chassis dyno. You should see this place. It's incredible. And the whole shop is littered with a sea of Hemis and Challengers and so many Mopars in there. What were we going to say?
What kind of horsepower is your engine making at the rear wheels?
Well, I can't tell you until you see the video. But this is a
suspense
528, I believe,
Yeah.
cubic inch Gen 2 Hemi. It's got a Pro Charger. I don't know how many pounds of boost it's making, but you'll see what the power numbers are. in a
Nice.
second here.
And after this, by the way, just so you know, we're going to grab a quick break here on Speed Scene Live. We'll hook up with Megan up north.
The world's fastest cheerleader.
That's right. We'll talk racing. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
868 horsepower?
No, where do you see that?
1139.
1,139.
Yeah.
8,000, those guys would be...
And gets 20 miles
yes.
per gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, well, downhill engine shut off.
it's going to be, you'll hear more about this car, in a couple months when it gets put into the...
I think that's what's called a tease, gentlemen.
Yes.
Tease.
So look for that.
Tune in next week for more. Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to take a look at Alex's car on the dyno in a while, too. It's all coming up. We got way, way, way more. We're just getting started right here at Speed Scene Live. We're going to be right back.
Hi, this is Crazy Connie, and when I'm not doing wheelies, I'm watching Speed Scene Live.
At Aeromotive, we believe that performance means reliability, longevity, and durability. Being the best is no secret. By utilizing aerospace processes, procedures, technology, in-house engineering, true applications knowledge, and 3 generations of track experience, it's easy to see why we're the best. We take great pride in the fact that everything we sell, we design and make in the USA. See our entire line of fuel pumps and related products by logging on to aeromotiveinc.com. Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's all-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all, and every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all-American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and theFote.com.
Welcome back, Speed Scene Live. This is going to be so cool because not only are we talking fast cars, we're talking really fast cars and the people who drive them. I'm Bruce Barker. There's Alex, the car girl, the fast car girl, Rosio. There's Bob, the fast guy, Beck, and look at the man. And that isn't just bling either. Bling would be plastic. That's the real deal.
That's real steel, baby. In fact, I don't know what those guys were doing in that movie. Hugh Jackman should have. I think Real Steel 2. I got to be in it.
I think you're right.
Wear that
You're right.
bunch of rings.
Big bridges and leads with your rings.
Oh,
You know what? We got a guest on the line. Let's welcome Megan Policier. Megan, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, so let's make the connection here. Big Swag, maybe you can take the lead here because where's Megan come from? How did you meet her?
well, I go up to Interlake Dragway in Gimli, Manitoba. Did I say that right? It is Gimli, Manitoba, right? Not Winnipeg, but Manitoba.
Right.
Okay, and
Yeah, it's in Gimli.
I've gone up there twice, last year and this year. They have a couple big races at this track. Beautiful track in the middle of Manitoba, and last year I got to meet Megan because she was in the finals of the Junior Dragsters. Do I got that correct?
Yeah.
Megan?
Right.
Yeah. So I met her, and she was in the finals of the Junior Dragsters. And then this year, she was in the finals of the Big Boy Dragsters, or Big Girl Dragsters, and she won. And so I just thought it was pretty cool. And someone said that, she's from 80 to 180 miles an hour, which is a pretty big jump. And she's really good at it. And then to boot, Megan happens to be a competitive cheerleader.
Wait a minute.
You're kidding.
No. So I will let Megan tell you about the cheerleading stuff because it's a pretty big deal. We can start talking some drag racing after that. Megan, tell the folks at home about competitive cheerleading up in Canada.
Well, it's not as big as it is in the States, but I cheer for a team called Central Cheer, and we travel to different competitions around Canada. And the team that I'm on now, we won nationals last year, but that wasn't when I was on it. But now I have a chance to win nationals this year with that team. And I started cheerleading when I was in grade 6, so I've been cheering for about 7 or 8 years now.
And then how long have you been racing for?
7 or 8 years as well. This is my 8th year.
Now, there's a good picture of us right there. Now, I mean, how different? I mean, I know what it feels like to do about 100, maybe 85 miles. I know what it's like to do 85 in the quarter mile. But in one short year, you went from doing the juniors to racing the Bounty Huntress. And tell the folks at home how that came about. And what school did you? You also went to a school.
In December, my dad and I went to Florida, and we got a chance to take the Frank Hawley Drag Racing School. So that was pretty cool, and we were going about 160 miles an hour, so that was the biggest shock for me, was going from 80 to 160. And then I kind of got used to the 160 at the Frank Hawley School, and then jumping from the 160 to the 180 was even more of a rush. And it really feels like you're flying, and
Wow.
So
it's a
Megan,
really great feeling.
what did you do the super comp school, or did you do a different class with Frank Hawley?
We took the super comp course.
Okay.
Did you
And then I took my top dragster license at Interlake Dragway
Okay, that's
with the Bounty Hunters car.
So is that the car that you drive competitively today?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me about the car. Talk about that motor. What size motor you got in that thing? I know it's fast, so
It's a 565 big block Chevy motor,
big.
and it runs just on motor, no nitrous,
and
about 180 miles an hour.
Now, are you running an index class, or are you running just out the back door?
We're running just out the back door.
But it was a good weekend a couple weeks ago. You got to the finals, and then lo and behold, you won.
Yeah, that was a really great feeling because that day was the first time that I had even won a round in that car, because it's been taking a while to get used to the car, and then I ended up winning first place.
Wow. So you went from not having won a round in the car to winning the whole. That's
great.
Quite the jump.
Dang. And let's see
Yeah,
now.
and
We're by the way, Megan, we're
some pretty good racers.
watching your pass on, or at least one of them, right here on Speed Scene Live. Here's what Big Schwag had to say right after this was done.
World's fastest cheerleader. Look at.
I'm looking.
Megan is a very smart. You're 18 years old, correct?
Correct.
So just 18 years old.
Wow.
She's very smart. She's a good driver. And I was just like, and she said, well, I'm a cheerleader. And I'm like, what? World's fastest. I'm always thinking of stupid things. So I just said, she's the world's fastest cheerleader. That's a good gimmick. In pro wrestling, we call stuff like, a gimmick. The Undertaker's got a gimmick.
Right.
Not only are you a good drag racer, but you have a good gimmick. Even though it's the true, it's not really a gimmick. It's the true thing. You're the world's fastest cheerleader. So we got to figure out how to get a whole bunch of these big cheerleader schools to sponsor her.
Yeah.
And get a faster car.
She could have the rest of the cheerleaders as backup girls.
Oh my gosh!
What an idea!
All of them running down the track.
Yeah, pom-poms and all. Come on.
Yeah,
Let me ask you, what do the other girls have they ever seen you race, or do they know that you race, and what do they think about it?
Well, whenever we have to share one thing about ourselves at practice, like to get to know each other, I always share that I'm one of the fastest drivers in Manitoba, and they just freak out, and it's not like me. They think that I'm just not that kind of person, but so it's very surprising for them, and not many of them had come to see me race yet, but hopefully they come up to the track soon and see what I do on the weekends.
Well, are they watching Speed Scene tonight?
I have no idea. Hopefully, though.
You call them all, because after the show's over in live, it goes into a replay. So you get the encore presentation, so you can have them watch it again.
They're there with the winning car and the winning race and the check right there. Now, so Megan, what's next then? I mean, you go down the track pretty straight at 180. What would you like to do next?
Well, one day I'd like to get into top alcohol, but I mean, I'll just see what the future holds, I guess.
Well, what are your plans education-wise? I mean, you've graduated high school, correct?
Correct. This year I'm just working. Not really sure what I want to do yet. Probably going to go somewhere in the medical field, hopefully.
Then you'll be the world's fastest doctor.
Yeah, the world's fastest doctor.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then she walks into the operating room with pom-poms. And I'm just kidding.
It's all good. I think this just. I don't know if they use the pom-poms in her thing. They're doing the twirls and the flips and and they're the guys with the strong. You actually are the bass. Is that what they call it? You're one of the bass where you.
Yeah, I'm a bass, so I'm the one that holds the other girls or throws them up.
Man,
I tried to get her to throw me up in the air.
Really?
And I cramped up, though. She could have done it, but I cramped up. Hey, Megan, I appreciate you calling in and doing the interview with us. We wish you, of course, the best. And when you keep winning some more more races, please let us know over here at Speed Scene Live. And hope to see you in the States racing sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
All right, good luck.
Right there, Bruce.
Thank
the
you.
world's fastest cheerleader. Megan, say her last name for me.
Policier.
Bam!
Thanks, Megan. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.
Tell your dad I said hey.
Hey,
Wow, how about that? That was a lot of fun.
That is one big jump.
Well,
let me tell you,
yeah,
going
from
from
juniors to
80
that,
to
yeah.
180, like going from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, that's a big jump. Let alone
Well, talk
going-
about it because you do this. I mean, you race. When you first started racing, what was a good time for you?
My car was stock from the early days, so it was running like 1306
Wow.
in good air stock, and then we slowly started upgrading. So I had a very gradual increase in ET, but like going from juniors to fast cars, that's
yeah.
impressive. That takes a lot of skill.
The part that impressed me was she's not running an index class. That's run it out the
Right.
back door. It's he who gets there first win, or she that gets there first wins. It's just there's no breakout.
Yeah, I don't think there's, from what I saw, there's not many. I mean, at least the couple times I've been up there, there's not many female drag racers up in
No.
Manitoba, and if they are, they're not going that fast. So she's beating the big guys.
Yeah, and I forgot to ask her. Being in Canada, do they have wrinkle wall snow tires?
They
They don't. You can't
They
run in
don't?
the winter. Come on now.
they race snowmobiles. Let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, they do.
tires.
They do race snowmobiles.
There are so many fast. I wish I would have brought. I should have saved some footage of the guys that were racing the snowmobiles. They were beating
Yeah.
the cars. They were beating the fuel alters. It was crazy. Guys
What
were.
do they do for the front skis? Do they?
Wheels.
They have wheels.
Oh, they have wheels.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
But so they
You just
have
keep
wheels on
really
the.
up, so you don't have to
Yeah,
worry about
right.
it.
But they were beating everybody, and then people were red lighting because they were panicking because they were like, "Well, I can't lose to a snowmobile."
Yeah, how do I
And
explain
then-
that
and
to my
then-
friends back
Yeah,
in the
but
pits?
it was
Yeah.
pretty awesome. But Interlake Dragway, if you ever get a chance to go up there, it's great. Hopefully, we can get Alex up there maybe next
be
year
cool.
to race and
I'd
see if
love
we can
to.
get them to bring you up there. They're
Yeah.
Daryl and Brandy Ruck, good people, and their kids race juniors, and in fact, I think their kids. One of them's getting a little too old now. He's going to have to get into the big boy cars. So.
Well,
you go.
junior drag racing is the best preparation, in my opinion, that you can get for
Yeah.
for
Absolutely.
especially
We've got
dragsters.
we've got a number of people that have gone from juniors. We've got Sean Bellemere, runs a Double B or an alcohol funny car. Erica Enders, pro stock.
Sean
top driver.
Langdon.
John Langdon.
Leah Pritchett drove
Yeah.
juniors, I believe.
We got a lot. It's a stepping stone, and that's what NHRA initially designed junior dragsters for.
Yeah.
It was to not only give the kids a way of becoming involved in drag racing, but it was a stepping stone to teach them the basics without putting them in a full-size car.
Sure.
I tried to get in one.
Did you ever get out?
I tried to get. If I would have got in it, we would have had I would have owed for a junior dragster because they would have had to cut me out. But they have a 2-seat dragster there.
Yeah.
Frank Hawley does. Yes.
Yeah, and they had one up
Oh,
in
do they?
yeah,
Okay.
and the guy,
It's
the guy,
really-
I almost got in it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, well, and the suit. Last year I had a bad back, so I was like, I didn't think I could get in and get out. This year I was like, I don't think the suit will fit.
Yeah.
I just kept trying to come up with reasons not to get in the car, but it's
Yeah.
great. I wish I knew the guy's name. He's got a great deal with he races funny cars, and then he does the double dragster and takes people down the track for about $90, and it's well worth the money. you know. You're in the front. You're in the front with the little fake steering wheel.
Well, the fake steering. No, no, that's not going to happen. It's a real wheel or nothing. I mean, that's
The
almost
guy's
like,
behind you with the real.
Yeah, but that's like going on to one of these NASCAR dream things, and you're sitting there, and the other guy's driving. I don't want the other guy to drive.
Well,
Bob, we want you on the show again, though. That's why we have the other guy drives.
Yeah, well, yeah. The wall would keep me from going off track.
Yeah,
Sure.
no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Correct
What?
me if I'm wrong, Bob.
Yes.
This car is
Yes.
not what we think it is.
No, it is not. It's even better.
Okay, it's even better.
It's
so
even better.
You're going to learn the secret behind that and a whole lot of other stuff. That's not a very good tease. Alex was much better at this than I am.
Well, like we said, if you've ever done tabletop racing with slot cars, we've got it a whole step above what you ever thought it could be.
All right, stand by. Speed Scene Live continues next.
For For over half a century, Currie rear end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock crawling 4-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like Correct Link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at currieenterprises.com. Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online. Mention the Speed Scene and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Hi, I'm Elaine Larson, driver of the Embry-Riddle Jet Dragster. When I'm not blasted down the quarter mile in my jet car, I'm watching Speed Scene Live. See you there.
Hi, I'm Hot Rod Holly, and I get gas with Hot Rod Bob every Tuesday night on Speed Scene Live.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Currie Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefote.com.
All right, folks, that's right. Brett Big Swag Wagner coming back to you live from an undisclosed location. And where are we, Bob?
North Hollyweird.
With Alex, the car girl. How do you say your last name?
Roggio.
Bam! And Bruce,
Bam.
the man, the myth, the legend.
Is the focus better,
Barker.
Alex?
Yes,
Okay.
it is much better.
Focus.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I never noticed this before, Brett, but you sound a little bit like the guy, Matt Frewer is the actor. He's Max Headroom.
Matt Frewer is a wonderful actor and comedian.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of that speed
Yes,
style there.
I know
God,
what you're talking about.
I wish.
Yeah. Yes.
I wish. I had some of his credits and money.
He's Canadian, by the way.
He is Canadian.
I did not know that.
He's
a very big
He's a
coincidence.
white back.
Yeah.
A white back?
That's what they call it. That's what they say.
A white. I sort of get
He's a
that.
Doug
You
and Bob McKenzie.
Yeah, there you go. That goes back a little ways. But, boy, you're right. His credits are voluminous. That guy is everywhere.
Yes, and he does a lot of voice, too. He does a lot of, like you.
Yeah.
You are, the modern-day voice guru, if people don't know that. You do a lot of voiceovers for a lot of things.
Coming soon.
That's
to a
right.
theater near you.
I did this thing for, I think it aired like one time for Walter Mitty when it came out on Blu-ray, and it says, now available on Blu-ray. That's all it was.
That's all it was, yeah.
But hey, man,
You got the big bucks, though.
Yeah.
The big, I don't recall they actually
You
paid
paid
me.
$1 million for that.
Yeah, $1 million. Hey, take a look at this video here. What are we watching here, Alex?
Well, this is the first time that we had the Magnum back on the dyno after we got the brand new motor from Arrington a couple years ago. And we went back there last month to get some upgrades on the car. And we got it back on the dyno just to see if there were any changes, because the motor wasn't broken in when we first had it on the dyno, so we wanted to see what it would make now.
I hear the RPMs coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Goes through the gears.
Oh, man, you should hear how loud it was in there. It's insane.
The supercharger is winding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at those numbers.
So this is power to the wheels, not the crank, and that was 661 horsepower to the wheels and 700 foot-pounds torque.
Son of a gun, man.
Which is pretty good for a station wagon.
Yeah, not bad. And you run 1096, you said?
Best pass is 1046 at Fontana.
I mean,
at 130.
Just 2015, she might be in the 9s.
Yeah.
We can take some weight out of that car, maybe get it in
Flexi
the 9s.
windows, fiberglass
That's
nose.
right. We still have air conditioning, navigation, sunroof, radio, 6-disc CD changer.
That's heavy.
It's like,
That's
come on.
heavy. You got to get
And
that.
almost passes smog, too.
You know what? Get rid of the 6-disc changer. Borrow Bruce's 8-track.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
It's got to be lighter.
Yeah, although the tapes are heavier than the CDs, so it
just don't carry
might be a
It
trade-off.
might be.
And then what do you put in the player? You know what? Something has to look right when you have an 8-track player because there's a huge label that sticks out, unlike all other forms of in-car entertainment.
Right.
There's a big label, and so what is it going to say? Van Halen? Boston? You got to have some
Robin Trower?
Robin?
CCR?
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rush. There we go.
Kanye?
Yeah. A Kanye 8-track.
No.
Yeah,
Can you
right.
imagine that?
Waylon and Willie.
Yeah,
There you go.
and the boys.
Yeah.
Lukenbach, Texas. Okay,
All
let's
right.
take a look at this car. Bob, I know we got a guest on the line. Maybe we
We
better
do.
introduce people.
We ought to introduce Dave Beatty coming up now. Dave, how are you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for holding on with us for a while. Right now, if you're watching the show as well, we've got your 917 on screen.
What's happening?
Yes, beautiful.
And it's slowly opening.
What's happening
What is
here?
going on? That's a nice car.
It's a beautiful car, and it's even better once you get underneath.
All right.
Crank the music up, Bruce.
I don't. Wait a minute.
Oh.
There's a track.
It's a slot car track. This is probably one of the most elegant slot car tracks you could ever put in your basement. How you would get it down the stairs, though, I don't know. But Dave, you work on that.
You
with them,
drive it.
right? Tell us
I'll
about
make
this
it fit
one.
anywhere.
You get it anywhere. Tell us about this. What it entailed, and why did you do it?
Well, actually, the movie Le Mans with Steve McQueen was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and I built custom tracks, and it just kind of came to me that I thought, what a crazy idea. I'll make a car that opens up and has Le Mans in it and to pay homage to the movie and Steve McQueen. And there was a local supplier who makes the bodies. And so I just went for it, and my crew and I, we made it.
Wow.
And it's just a one-of-a-kind knockoff.
You make some great stuff. The name of your company is Slot Mods. You can find them on Facebook and take a look at some of the real extraordinary tracks you have built. Now, how did you get into building slot car tracks to this level?
I was doing it as a hobby, and back in 2008 I lost my job. So I figured that there was other guys out there who'd enjoy racing slot cars, and I didn't grow up riding the rails, so a lot of guys were into trains, but I figured a lot of guys would be into slot car racing. So I borrowed some money and set up a track in a corner of a hobby shop, and before I knew it, I was out at Pebble Beach and got on Jay Leno's Garage and became Gift of the Season and Cigar Aficionado, and last year I was gift of the season for Hot Rod Magazine.
Oh, man.
But you look at the detail in your tracks, and I know I belong to a club and we race slot cars. We've got a couple of guys that have seen your tracks, and that's what they've aspired to try and recreate in some cases. The level of detail is just amazing, and no one has ever done this before with slot car tracks.
No, right now we're the only ones in the world doing it, and been lucky to meet a lot of people. I know you mentioned Danny Thompson. I've spoken with him and met people, Bobby Rahal, Roger Penske, Rusty Wallace, all kinds of people from all different kinds of racing. And slot car racing, it's really about bringing people together and head-to-head competition. And, what you may not know is Bob and I kind of come from the same neck of the woods. And, there used to be slot car places on, every major corner and things like that. So I'm just bringing it back for nostalgia reasons, but to bring fathers and sons and daughters into racing.
Now, the track we're looking at right now, I believe, is Monaco because it's got that long tunnel and so forth. But the detail, how do you work on this detail? How do you get the trees and the grass and even the brick?
Well, it's all carved by hand. I've got a couple good guys, Don and Chris, that work with me, and everything you see is made by hand except the cars and the people. So we route the wood, and we're artists, so we just create, and we look. It's 1/32nd scale, so we build everything 1/32nd scale, from the cars to the trees to the signs. So everything is custom. So the track you're seeing has elements of Le Mans, Monza, Targa Florio, and Monaco. And it's just, you can race cars from all different eras.
You even put the skid marks on the track. You've got where the line would be. It's heavily rubberized. I mean, in looks, but it's just flat amazing. Now, we just saw a car crash there. How durable is all this scenery?
It's pretty durable. You'd be surprised. I mean, we send tracks out on tours with corporate clients, and some of the trees will get smashed, but it's real. In real life, it's a tree. The tree breaks, but we use a real aluminum Armco. It's roll formed, and so it's very durable, and everything is pretty strong. I mean, it has its limits like anything, but the object is that there's a consequence. If you go into a turn too fast and you crash, it's just like in real life, you're going to crash. So the object is to stay on track, and we make these things. We ship them all over the country, and they held up great. And it's like I get to be Santa to grown men who have too much money that they know what to do with. So it's
hey, David, is Brett Wagner. How long does it take to build one of these custom tracks?
Brent, these take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on the size. And I've built tracks that are 6 by 16 feet. And then I did a Riverside Raceway that was 12 by 30 feet.
Wow.
And that took almost 7 months.
God. I got to find out too, David. What's the camera that you've got mounted on these cars? Yeah. Because that would weight down a car seriously, I would think.
Yeah, it's a GoPro, just a small little GoPro. So we stripped off the body, and it's just running on the chassis. So it gives a really good insight into what's going on from the driver's point of view.
It is pretty tremendous. We're taking a look at footage now of the Riverside Raceway that you mentioned, and
and for those of you who have ever been to Riverside Raceway, this makes you look like, it makes it look like you really are there.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite racetracks, and unfortunately now I think there's a Home Depot there or something. But the gentleman who commissioned this track had raced at Riverside when he was younger and grew up going to the races. So this sits in his car garage that he has historic cars and some that you see racing on the track. So just a really great racing experience, and to build these realistic, replicas really, gets my juices flowing.
Oh, that is beautiful. Now, what would it cost? I want to have a Riverside Raceway track. Give me a ballpark figure as to how bad my wallet's going to be.
$125,000.
Whoa.
Bob, look what you're getting, Bob.
Look, I'll buy that Corvette off you right now, so you have a little startup money.
Very little. I can have turn 9.
Wow,
that is great. Now, some of the stills that I have that we haven't brought up yet because the action shots are great. You got Bobby Rahal standing in front. Does he happen to have a track of yours?
Yes, Bobby does. I recreated Road America for him, which is one of his favorite raceways.
Wow. And you've been on Jay Leno's, and I mean, the stills, when you look at the stills, it gives you a better chance to look at the detail. And there you are. And what track is that behind you there? That one looks
monstrous.
Amazing. I believe, a little bit of delay here, but that's
Sure.
that's that right there is just kind of a custom design that we did combined Laguna Seca and Highway 1 out in California. If you look to the right side as it's going up.
Okay. Sure.
And so it's a combination, so I get a little bit creative. That was actually built for a former son and CFO of Google. In a man cave surrounded by Ferraris. And, they're not, I'd like to build them for everybody, and I tried doing that, out of the box, $729, and I only sold one.
Oh, man.
So it just kind of grew from there, and I've made over 30 tracks in the last 5 years.
30.
Let me see. 30 times
100. Yeah. But that's just for the
You're doing
Riverside.
well, and there's only 3 of you.
Yeah.
Do you want to adopt a son?
Yeah. He's
well,
tall.
It's still, we're a small business, and we're still, we're trying to grow and just do the best we can and improve, upon the racing experience. And just making it fun for everybody.
So I know that I've been traveling around. I do a lot of car shows, and they do the slot car drag races, and people build tracks. Maybe we can get you to build a drag race track for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, mini.
Yeah, I built one 4-lane, 85-foot long track. So it was pretty intense. And right now I've been working on kind of a commission where they want slot car tracks to go 100 miles an hour, real world speed, and
Wow.
they just sound like gnats flying by. So I'd be more than happy to build a track for you guys and give you a celebrity discount and all that good stuff. And
Bob is going to commission it.
Yeah.
I am just going to play with it.
My house isn't 85 feet long, guys. Come on. I mean,
well, if you're ever in the Motor City, come by and see my studio, and we've got tracks always in works, and we can race and have some fun. And we have lap timers built into the track, so you can see if you can get the fastest lap and whatnot.
all right, so we know we can find you on Facebook. How else can someone get in touch with you if they wanted to get a track or have you build a track of their dreams?
There's our website, www.slotmods.com. And through the info, you can contact us, and people are surprised when I answer the phone. So we're pretty down to earth. And
watching the motorcycles right now, very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, Ducatis, running. So we've, doing motorcycles, doing cars. We also converted a 1969 Camaro. We cut the top off and inserted a Watkins Glen-inspired track.
Jeez. Man, this is unbelievable.
When he does that on a Mustang, though, it comes with its own tow truck.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, hurt me.
I like that.
Fine, that's one of us.
Oh, but these tracks are beautiful. David, I appreciate you calling in and getting us all this information, and the videos are just amazing of your tracks. The detail is great. I'll be talking with you again, and I'm going to try and make it back for the Woodward Dream Cruise next year, so I may try and get in touch with you then.
That would be great. And, thanks for taking an interest in my story and what we do, and I plan on being around, and I get out to California quite a bit, so hopefully I can stop by and see you guys.
If you get out to California, you definitely let us know.
David, we will let you take us to dinner in Beverly Hills.
That's a date. I'll let you pick up the tab.
Oh,
there you go. That
There
works.
was a hitch in that get along.
He got me. He got
David,
me.
thanks again. Slotmods.com, Facebook,
Yes, sir.
and check out all the great tracks. Look at that, even chunks of rubber.
That's
out
right.
of the groove.
On Laguna Seca.
The detail is just amazing.
We're the real deal.
Yeah. And hey, Dave, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us tonight on the show.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Take care.
Good night. Jeez, look
Bye-bye.
at this stuff.
Oh, it's just
Unbelievable.
amazing. I love it. It makes the racing feel so real when you're on a track like that.
Yeah, and of course you do far more racing than anybody I know in terms of this type of it. And how do you like the 1/32 scale cars as opposed to some of the smaller or larger ones? What's your favorite size?
The
Bob?
1/32 is.
Okay.
Actually, I've got one. I'm building a 1/24 scale now. We talked to the guys that do the racing down at Buena Park Raceway, and I'm building one to race there in 1/25 scale. But my home track and the tracks that I race on when I can are 1/32 scale. We're doing the Riverside Raceway 1/32 scale this Saturday, as a matter of fact, up in Palmdale.
Nice.
And they just opened up a commercial track in Palmdale. I'm going to go up there and see what that's like, and maybe we can talk to that guy too. But none of the track that we're going to is detailed, not to the extent that this gentleman's, that Dave's tracks are.
Yeah.
But it's got the pit area, and he's got hills and dirt and stuff that look real, and he's got hay bales in one of the corners that he made out of shredded wheat.
Oh.
Made his own mold and glued and shredded wheat and made hay bales.
That was like my father's cereal. I remember he'd come out, right? He'd put the shredded wheat. This is before they put sugar on it. That was the little mini guys that talk to you.
Yeah.
No. Shredded wheat and brown sugar.
Wheat, nicely sweet?
And brown sugar. My dad would pile in the brown sugar.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
That was my dad's meal.
Dang, how about that?
And Coors Light.
Yeah.
After breakfast. After breakfast.
Oh, I thought you poured that on the wheat.
Of course, like with the shredded wheat.
Yeah, with the shredded wheat. No.
Hey,
hops, barley, and shredded wheat. Why not? Yeah.
Right. Hey, back to full-size tracks
Yes,
now.
there
Here's
is.
Alex Rogio at 8-Track, and it's kind of hard to see in this photo. We're going to join a video in just a second here.
Yes.
But there, you're doing something off the back end of the
This
truck.
is Gateway Park, St. Louis. This was me displaying how to use our wonderful cargo glide.
Wow.
Basically, I mean, this bed slide allows you to take out stuff from the very front of the bed. You don't have to hop up in the truck to get it. You just pull a little lever and pull the bed out, and it's really, really cool.
Revolutionizing
Yeah.
the way that you can use your truck bed, and like you said, you don't have to jump up. A guy like me with bad knees or Bruce who falls down all the time.
Yeah. But I mean, looking at that truck, that thing's taller than you are.
Right, I'm not tall enough to reach over the side and get something on the other, like if the wall of the fender. I can't reach over, especially with the dually because it's so wide. But this, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's
pretty sweet.
Really, really cool.
Where are these guys out of?
They're out of St. George, Utah, and we actually went there to get the unit installed, and we got to see their facility, and they're expanding incredibly fast. They started in a small building, then they upsized. Now they're getting another building and moving to an even bigger space. They're hiring people all the time. It's a really, really great
just
company.
a hop, skip, and a jump from Vegas.
I might have to go up there pretty soon.
That's pretty nice. I know you did an on-site interview. Let's take a look.
I'm Alex Rogio, and I'm at Cargo Glide today in St. George, Utah, and I'm standing with Brad Harrell. So can you tell me what we just installed in our truck?
What we've just installed is a CG 2000 HD. It's a 70% extension unit that is utilized for a fifth wheel application. So we have a removable deck that can be used in a drop pin type fifth wheel application. This particular unit has high extension side rails on it. It also has adjustable tie downs that you can see in the bed of the pickup on the side rails, the loop system. You also have a full nylon deck on the top, which is an all-weather deck with a marine grade plywood for a long life in water applications. A couple things that we have utilized in this particular unit is what we call a trolley system bearing, where it's a rocker bearing that it's a double bearing at the cab end on both sides, and as this is pulled out, you have a fulcrum point that as the weight continues to extend out of the bed of the pickup, you have a fulcrum changeover from rolling on the bottom to the top of the rail. And so this has a double bearing there. It also has side thruster bearings for applications when you're on the side of a hill and you still have to pull out a load, so you have side thruster bearings, as well as a double bearing at the very back, which is your main load bearings, which are you have a quad bearing, so you have 2 on each side. So you have a total of 10 bearings on this unit.
How about we pull it out and get a better look at the unit?
Okay. This is a 70% extension unit for a gooseneck trailer application. And you have stop points every 12 inches or so.
Brad, tell us a little bit about the construction of the unit.
Well, let's start from the ground up. We start with an all-steel frame that's powder-coated. With 1/8-inch wall, steel rectangular tube, and 3/16 C-channel on the bottom frame. We also, of course, we mentioned the tin bearings that we have. We have cross braces that have been pre-engineered for locations on the slide, depending on its length. One of the other items that is significant is the marine grade plywood that we utilize on the deck itself adds to the weight capacity of the frame. It also has an all-weather deck, the nylon deck that's on top, which will resist slippage. It'll also give you a better coefficiency of friction for products that you'll have on top of the deck. Along with, we also have a cargo divider that can be utilized with the tie-down system on the Cargo Glide itself, so you can lock your load in at any given point on the deck.
So are you talking about these hooks?
Right. These
or is that something else?
Are adjustable. They move up and down at any point wherever you want to tie your load down. We've tested those per hook at 1,500 pounds of test. Additionally, when we look at the construction of the Cargo Glide, if you can look at the cutout that we have for the fifth wheel. Made in the country of Utah.
And these are made right here in the U.S., right?
They actually are. Cargo Glide manufactures all of its own parts right here in St. George, Utah. So it is an American-made product, completely whole and whole. The one thing that we also specifically try to help our customers realize is that when they receive a Cargo Glide, it's completely pre-assembled. What they see right now is what they actually get after they take the shipping crates off of and the framing that's in the Cargo Glide. So it's ready to go, it's ready to install when they get the product. They don't have to put anything together.
Well, Brad, I want to thank you so much. I'm incredibly excited to use this in our new tow vehicle, and can't wait to see how it works with our gooseneck application. And please check moparmax.com for a more detailed article and how we love using it in our gooseneck.
That is pretty sweet.
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Wow, I'm stunned. I'm thinking now, what do you think, Bob? They make one for a 58 Ranchero?
Yeah.
You can put one in there.
I'm sure they could.
Of course, you know, the thing's as low as a car, so I don't really have the issues with getting cargo
but it
out
looks
over
cool, though.
It would look great.
And you can put a ton of weight. Ours is a 70% extension, and you can put literally 2,000 pounds on it.
Dang.
Safely.
I guess I could sit in the back.
Yeah, I can put one in the back of my Corvette. I can put my Corvette on one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, the various applications for the Cargo Glide system. I like it.
It's great for racers, by the way.
Wow. I hate to say
Tow
this. We are
vehicles.
so out of time.
We are.
No.
Of course.
It's true.
So fast.
All right, what's happening? Alex, where are you going next? What's going to be happening?
I am racing again a little bit later this month, I believe. And then I'm also racing at the Vegas National in Super Comp at the end of October.
Super Comp.
Nice.
Ooh, going to be in a dragster.
Yeah.
I'm headed to where it's nice and cool this weekend. Channel Islands Harbor, just outside Oxnard, right on the water. It'll be the Ventura Vintage Rods Car Show.
Oh, that's good.
This weekend?
That's this weekend.
I think I might come see you.
Please do.
I, of course, this month on the 19th and 20th will be in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada.
Cool.
EG Auctions, selling some cars.
What an international travel.
I am. I love it.
Yeah.
And then in October, I will be in Pikeville, October 11th at Muscle on Main, the Riverfield drag races. We race underneath the county jail and do a riverbed. I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Unbelievable.
And then maybe just one more in October
Wow.
24th and 25th. I'll be at the Rough Rider Tattoo Expo in Fargo, North Dakota.
Nice.
Fargo.
Man,
I just like to
nonstop
say
action.
Fargo.
Yeah. There was many a
Reminds me of a
truck and
movie.
many a movie and a TV show for one season.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, and I want to, don't forget, I will be on the show next week, and we're going to have Judy Lilly, former Miss, no, Miss Mighty Mopar.
Miss
Call
Mighty
in
Mopar.
to the show, and we're going to have, I did an interview with her at the Mopar Mile High Nationals a couple weeks ago. So lots on Judy Lilly next week.
Do you know what Mopar stands for?
More parts?
No, move over Plymouth Star Racing.
Come on.
And real quick, I will also be hanging out in Vegas with Alex.
At Streetcar Super Nationals.
Yes, I'm going to go hang out there and check it
November.
out for the first time. But I'm a spokesperson for Bad Boy Mowers.
That's true. Yes.
And we are looking for a new spokesperson, model / girl that knows what she's doing. And I think we might have found her tonight on this show.
I
think
think
found
Alex,
her tonight right on this show.
I think Alex would be perfect for that.
I think so too.
Thank you, guys.
So we're gonna have to push it. Thank you, Bruce.
I can see her now on a 10-second mower.
Yeah, nice.
Got a Hemi.
Yeah, take it over to Arrington and have him just do a few things.
Yeah.
All right, look, we got to get out of here. The encore presentation of the show comes up next. Thanks for joining us for Speed Scene Live tonight. We'll be back 1 week from right now, right here at SpeedSceneLive.com.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com.